only way you're gonna work 15 hours a day for 25 years is because it's your hobby. You don't do anything that much unless you fucking love it, right? Like, to me, that's why I always talk about being an entrepreneur before it was cool. It's because it's what I loved. It's like if you were to listen to music, if you love music, and I said you literally for a living can listen to music for 15 hours a day and do extremely well, I wouldn't sign up for that. I don't want to listen to music 15 hours a day, but I'm sure a lot of people would, or play tennis, or whatever. Like, and I think that the people that always succeed in the long term have found that thing that they genuinely like would do. Like I will never retire. It just will never happen. I just know it already today. I may get super old and like I might not be able to schlep around, but like I'll go stand in a flea market and sell some shit. Like, to me, it's the thing it's really been interesting going through this journey. Even for a lot of you, it's just interesting to analyze yourself as you evolve, as you get older. As a 6 to 12-year-old, where I had unlimited freedom to play outside in the 80s in New Jersey, more than half the time, I chose to wash somebody's car, right? Shovel somebody's snow. So this is like deeply ingrained, and I think I see it. I see it in architecture, I see it in teaching, I see it in public service, I see it in parenting. Like, if you can just find your thing. Now, for me, my thing also creates financial for some people, if your dream is to teach, like if you want to teach in a public school, you're not going to make $1 million a year. So I think right now my fear, and even like this whole project, is I'm trying to talk a lot more about self-awareness, not just entrepreneurship, because I think people are getting caught up because there's just no way to be sustainable. The reason I get almost 10,000 communications a week about how do I fix my laziness. And my answer is do something you like, right? You're lazy because you're doing it for the money. And you don't like it. You just think it's gonna make you money. And so people are real estate agents because their neighbor's making money. And people are social media experts because they read something about me. Or they're gonna be a cryptocurrency trader, or augmented reality this, and everyone's gonna be on VR, and the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. And this is why so many people lose. They chase cash, and to your point, like, hard work is part of the equation. Like, it's just part of the equation. Because somebody's gonna outwork you. People like Gary Vee, I don't know if you guys saw this, I was flying here today, so I was like, got kind of caught up on work. I'm like, fuck it, let me just answer questions. So I did an Instagram post today, asked me questions, started answering. People are like, yo, Gary Vee, what do I do when my market gets really competitive and everybody wants to do the same shit? I'm like, you have to be better than everyone. Right? Like it's so funny to there's a lot of sneaker stores. You just have to be better. And so I'm just fascinated by people thinking there's some secret passive potion that you're gonna make $1 million a year doing dick. Doesn't exist. So you better figure out what you like, because I was so bad at school because by 9:30 I looked at the fucking clock until I got out of there at 3 because I hated it. And so because I lived my childhood in hating something and not succeeding out of the hatred of it, the fact that 90% of people careers are the way I did school, and those are longer and take up a lot more of your life, that's devastating to me, and we have to change that conversation.
Any tips to people out there who, how does a day in the life of John or Gary look, and how would you recommend people have more productive days doing whatever it is, whether it's something they like or not?
For me, one of the conversations that I wanted to create clarity over the last 3 years is sleep, right? I answered that today. Somebody's like, how much do you, a lot of people ask, how much do you sleep? And my answer is 6, 7, or 8 hours, and it fucks with people, right? Because they think I'm sleeping like an hour. And my point there is sleep's important. I don't know who thinks they're gonna survive without sleep. Sleep's important. What's important for what I'm about is what you're doing when you're awake. I'm fascinated by people who say, I hustle, I sleep 4 hours, but then watch 3 hours of YouTube videos a day, right? And so for me, as you know, and what you're referring to as somebody who interacts with me is, Tyler's sending you emails like, can you do 11:30 p.m. to 12:30 p.m.? Every minute I have is programmed.
It's more like 11:15 to 12 25.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, the amount of 5 and 7 and 10 and 13, like, I basically, Kyler, I see your face. What do you think? It's 8 o'clock until 11 p.m. is pretty much programmed to the minute with 0 slots for anything but the next meeting. But I'm working out, right? But like for like work, 8 to 11 with 0 lunch, 0 downtime. Like if I go take a piss, I'm cutting into some meeting. Now, but here's the thing. That's matching my happiness and ambition. That is not for 99.9% of people. Time management needs to be predicated on what makes you happy and what is coming out of your mouth. The biggest thing I'm worried about is people are talking big game, but then their actions don't match it. So to me, it's happiness first and then eliminating hypocrisy. And that's how I think about it. So for me, it's that because I love this game, it's what I would want to do, and my ambitions are great, and I enjoy it. I want to spend 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. on a meeting to build what I'm building. It's what I love to do. It's no different than being in the studio or painting or, you know, it's just what I love to do.
I am probably both of you guys' biggest fans, and once you've made it, what continues to drive you to do what it is that you're passionate about?
I would argue that if you really knew everything about me and you read it all, every action I ever did, you would look me in the face and ask me, why do you sabotage yourself in business and financial environments? And I would tell you that deep down, subconsciously, I love it so much that I just want it to happen forever. And so for me, making it is that's what blows me away about somebody who's like, I just need to make $1 million and I'm gonna go to Jamaica, right? Or like, I don't have that. I don't have that in my head. I just wanna play forever. And that's why I'm trying to get people to understand the process, because it is very clear to me that people that are in love with their craft and process can win. And that's why I'm trying to change the conversation around how much money you need to be happy, because it doesn't work. Like I just know unbelievable amounts of data of how many people have lots of money, how many people don't have lots of money by our standards, and how happy they are. And it doesn't take a lot of money to be, to be alive in society. It's about what you spend money on. I mean, I can't get over this. I just really wish people liked what they did. And the internet makes, where we got caught, why everybody in this room is caught, is you were parented by people that didn't have the luxury of a mature internet. And so there was no practicality around doing what you love. It's just not how the world worked. The internet, which everybody here, including myself and including the man who was at the forefront of it in a lot of ways with what he did with the iPhone, is grossly underestimated, like deeply underestimated. And so I just really want people to do what they like. It will work. They just have to eat shit for a long time. Like people are like, well, Gary, I have debt or this. I'm like, cool. To live the life that you want, isn't it a good idea to punt the next 6 years, eat shit, give up? Because the game's very simple. If you've got debt or have to put a roof over your head or somebody else, then you work, whatever job is paying you that. But I'm asking you, what are you doing from 6 p.m. to midnight? And if you have to go build slowly your portfolio, your Shopify store, your Instagram account, your YouTube channel, your content, like, wouldn't you be pumped if I told you for the next 4 years it's tough and you don't watch as much Netflix and sports and hanging out, but then you get to live happy for the rest of your life? Everybody, in theory, would sign up for that. The reality is a lot of people don't want to grind for 4 years. Like, people don't like pain. It's why most people don't have six packs. I mean that. There's a lot of people here who want to be in better shape. You just don't want to work out. You just don't want to eat well. Like, I lived it for the first 38 years of my life. And then I got into better shape. I still hate it. I fucking was pissed this morning waking up at 5:55 to work out, but because I want it, And so I've gone through doing something that didn't come natural to me, that I hate to this day, 4.5 years later, but I just wanna live 15 years longer. And so for me, it's like, if any person in here is unhappy, I need to know every single minute you spend on anything but your job, because I'll tell you, taking those leisure hours, which you're using to escape your unhappiness. You're literally watching Netflix or sports or playing video games or listening to music to escape your reality that you're not happy about. I want you to take those hours and start building something that gets you off your issue. And it might take 7 years, but it's worth it. Everybody here is gonna live for fucking 60, 70 more years. People got tricked. 54 is young. 54 is young. And so people have terrible ability to put time in perspective, which is why their behaviors are so broken.
All right. Anybody got a six pack out there?